conversate for a few.
Welcome to the next episode of Conversate for a Few. I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely is not. This is a podcast about hip hop. What we doing today, bruh?
Oh man, we got to talk about the do's and don'ts of this music industry.
Okay.
We got to talk about, well, I think you gave it a better title than I did.
Oh, no, you gave it the title. What was the title you came up with?
Young Gunz.
Okay. And see, I had the other half. I had the what do they call it? The semicolon after that. Is that what they call it? Young Gunz.
Subtitle.
Yeah, the subtitle is Imbalance of Crime and Punishment. No, Imbalance of Crime and Entertainment.
Yeah, the imbalance of crime and entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to talk about today because it seems the lines are getting blurred.
Yeah, seems.
Well,
wow. Yeah.
It seems is an understatement.
Yeah.
I was being nice.
Yeah. Being nice.
There's absolutely a marriage between entertainment and blatant abrupt violence.
Yeah. And I mean crime and then violence and then crime. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing. Because I think the way the music industry is working nowadays, I think the violence is coming from one place, and I think the crime is coming from a similar but slightly different place.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
So those are. Yeah, so I guess the official title, once they see it, it'll be Young Gunz, Crime and Entertainment.
Young Gunz, Crime and Entertainment.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
That makes sense. Let's go.
Tell the people why Young Gunz.
Oh, man. Because in case you didn't know, my podcaster is not only a great hip-hop historian, but he had a dope-ass track when I was younger, back in the days in the mid-'90s, late '90s, called Young Gunz. And to me, I say it's prophetic because the hook, like the first part of the hook is Young Gunz, pace yourself before you die, before you get your wealth. Black man, don't die, bad health. Now, just stop right there and overlay that on all of the news that you've been hearing about what's going on with these young artists that are dope, they're talented, but the crime and entertainment part has cut a lot of their would-be success and fame short. They literally, you have someone like a King Von and Mo3, they died before they could really achieve the wealth based off of their talent.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't die from bad health. Black man don't die from bad health.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like it was a double entendre, meaning don't do it, take care of yourself, also saying that you don't ever really get a chance to do it.
Right. Because
you don't take care of yourself.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right. And that's why I like that first line, pace yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not pacing themselves. That's problem. But you can't pace yourself if you don't have the right team around you or the right counseling, people to talk with, to consult you, to give you guidance, to tell you, nah, that's not a good move. That's not a good look.
Right. I don't know if you could put the right team around some of these people.
No, you can't. Some will listen, most will not.
Yeah. Most will not.
Some will listen, but most is going to. It seems like they have their mind made up on what they want to do.
Right. And I mean, okay. Before we start passing judgment, because that's what I feel like because I was about to say they do have their minds made up, and they had their minds made up that it matters, that certain things matter still that really don't, or that never actually did. Well, I'll put it to you this way. Let me say it this way. You come up rough, right? It matters whether people respect you enough by knowing that you'll handle your business and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That matters. You know what I mean? But once you leave that realm of where you grew up and you enter into an industry, of any sort, it matters a lot less about how you handle disrespect or how you handle certain situations. That doesn't necessarily affect the rest of your life anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't affect your safety at all.
Right. Especially literally when you're no longer in that environment.
Right. Right. But by acting like you're in that environment, you're constantly bringing that environment to you.
Yes.
You know,
Or
and
you've removed yourself from that environment, but you going back
yeah,
to,
yeah,
you know, and that's like kind of the odd thing about this is that they don't, the ones that the tragedies that happen to, they literally don't even live where they used to live.
right.
They may have lived longer if they were still in the state that they were in prior to them getting on.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, for instance,
That's kind of ironic. That's
but
sickly ironic.
That goes to what I was saying. If you bring that attitude with you that you have to handle yourself this way because it protects you, then you're bringing that situation with you too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If your response to a situation is the same as it was when you was in a violent setting every day, if you're still responding to things that way, then that violence is around you because you're only provoking it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have to stop. You have to, at some point, you have to remove yourself from the cycle. Removing yourself from the space is not necessarily removing yourself from the cycle.
Yes.
And I think
That's
a lot
true.
of times people feel like just proximity is the cycle, but it's a lot more than proximity. I guess that's the easiest way for me to say it.
Yeah. Because it's a mindset. Now, so this is what the thing, when these artists transition into the entertainment business music, right? When they enter that world, which is a whole different world.
Right.
When they enter that world, and we know where most of them come from, like, who is it on? Who do you feel like? I think this really will help us move forward in the conversation. But who's responsible? Is the artist responsible for themselves? Is the label? Is there A&R or whatever? But who's responsible for helping them to mentally make the transition? Like, listen, you can't act this way. You have to conduct yourself like this now that you're in this space. You know. That's the biggest question to me.
Whose responsibility is it?
Right.
Honestly, the only person I could truly hold responsible is, hopefully, prayerfully, there's someone in this circle, right, that has enough wisdom to provide them with that insight.
Yes.
Somebody close to them in their life, or somebody that they come across that respects the fact that they are a young black man and they want to help them get past the trials and tribulations, one of them being death, you know what I mean, to make it to the wealth that they are aspiring to, right? But I don't think that I can't lay that responsibility at the label heads. I can't lay it on the A&Rs, because those people will have to grow to care about you to want to help you in that way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Business don't care about you. They care about bottom line and profit.
Right. It's not their job to care about you as an individual.
Yeah.
So that's the business. They're doing their jobs. When they go to work, that's the job that they do. You know what I mean? An A&R finds you the right records and hopefully groom you talent-wise to perform on these right records, and then present them to the label, and label marketing will do right with them, and the execs will push the budget forward and all that good stuff. But in none of that does that mean that they have to think about you when they go home, that they have to be concerned about you when they go home, any of that. This is a 9-to-5 that they signed up for, and because they love music, not because they love you. So it's hard to lay that response. You would hope that labels would want to take care of their artists, you know what I mean, and teach them not to die from murder, and teach them not to have high recidivism, going back and forth to prison and jail. You know what I'm saying? You would hope that, but we know that that doesn't necessarily benefit the label for that to stop. Right. And it's not their job to care. So, like I said, I would hope that it's someone in their life that knows. It's like, yo, you can't do this. Like, for instance, not to be spreading too much, but one of my young boys, you see what I'm saying, I sent a message to him the other day on you know what I mean, on Twitter. It was like, bro, it's probably in your best interest to make sure that anybody looking at your social media think you got the highest character of anybody on the planet. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people are going to go look. So it's in your best interest to make sure that when they look at your social media, that all they see is a high character individual. Anything outside of that is to your detriment. But everybody don't have somebody like me to go and look at their social media and be like, bro, that's a mistake. You see what I mean? And that's one of the things that needs to be taught is digital responsibility. We don't get a lot of that. We don't get taught digital responsibility. You know?
Yeah.
We
that's yeah.
I mean, granted, we don't get taught digital responsibility, and it would be hard for some people in our age bracket to teach digital responsibility to a younger one because we didn't grow up with social media. So we're gonna have a natural passiveness with social media. We're gonna have a natural awareness, like kind of, shyness even with social media, that somebody that grew up with it their whole life, they're not gonna have that. So I mean, I know I just went all over the place, and I think we jumped around a little bit, but
that was fine, because one of the things in dealing with all of the recent events that's unfolded among the young hip hop artists, all of this stuff, you can actually find trails of it on social media.
Absolutely.
And like a lot of stuff I didn't even know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there was songs and clips of videos of people already going at each other prior to shootings and fights and stuff like that happened.
Right. Okay. So now that you mentioned that, go ahead.
Which I was just going to say, which ties into what you're saying about when someone see your social media stuff, you want it to just display the highest of character. And the other thing, the problem is, what happens is something could be a small flame and then people come and fan it.
Yeah.
Right? In the comments, people, because they don't care, because they're like, and this is where the people have to take responsibility. People don't be caring about the artist either, or they wouldn't say and incite and you know what I mean, and champion on the beefs. Right?
Yo, people,
they're like the record label. They don't care.
People will crash the car to hit a bang, bro.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and no matter how bad the accident, you know it, everyone slows down to see what's going on.
That's a fact. And that's what we dealing with in hip hop right now. You see what I'm saying? We seeing train wrecks and people riding by them real slow, reporting on the train wrecks. You know? I guess before we get too deep, let's talk to me about where you feel like, and we've talked about it some on the show before, but where you feel like crime and entertainment, where that marriage happened. You know what I mean? Because it, especially in hip hop, it definitely wasn't always there.
Yeah, it wasn't there. Always. I would say early 90s.
Okay.
Early 90s, but it got a bigger boost in the mid 90s to late 90s. Because remember we talked about, it was a certain people they talked about the street life. Yeah. And then there was another wave where everybody rapped about the benefits of the street life, and you got a lot of boss and hustler talk.
That's a fact. At one point there were street tales, and we were basically getting reports from the streets. So I would lump NWA, even Public Enemy to an amount in that era, where you were getting reports from the streets, but and they started calling stuff like that gangster rap, right? Even Ice-T to a point, Too Short to a point. Those were more reports from the streets.
Yeah, I would say Ice-T, Too Short, Cool G Rap. Absolutely.
Cool G Rap is another, exactly, is another great example. I think we were getting more lyrical reporting from the streets, right? And I think from there we started getting artists like Nas and Jay-Z, And Nas was more in the line of a lyrical reporter of the street. Jay-Z was more like, well, let me tell you my story from the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And around that same time, you enter your Mobb Deeps. Let me ask you something. There's nothing criminal about Black Moon, is it?
No.
In your heart and mind, there's nothing criminal about Black Moon.
No.
Or me either.
No.
Me either. But that's insane.
Yeah, because I understood your question.
Yeah.
Right. And when I still gave a real answer.
Yeah.
You know.
And you gave the same answer I would. That's why I asked it, because I needed
Right.
to know how you felt about it. You know.
Right. In a deeper perspective, we can dig and find criminal elements. Right.
Yeah. The name of the Buckshot Shorty. The name of the other group was Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
Like, they was definitely talking about crime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know? But
you know, this is the funny thing. It was so well, I don't even say camouflaged, because it wasn't camouflaged.
Yeah.
It was just so well written.
Yeah.
And damn near poetic.
Yeah.
That it was like, it really wasn't, if they mention a gun or they mention this or that, that's not really what stood out to you.
Right.
What stood out to you was like, damn, did you hear how he said it?
That's what you're right.
Like,
You're
it was
right.
still, the art still prevailed over even elements of criminality in it, or violence. It was still like the display of dope lyricism, you know what I mean? Like, that's what still stuck out to me, even though, you know what I mean?
I agree. And then 2 years later, we end up with Mobb Deep, who is essentially Black Moon.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mobb Deep is essentially Black Moon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know who could dispute that. But in Mobb Deep, there was a clear criminal element.
Yeah.
Clearly criminal. They were clearly criminals. You know what I mean? Thugs, outcasts. You know what I mean? Like, it was clear. And it's not that much difference. They were just as poetic. They were just as lyrical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the art was just as much there to me as Black Moon. But there was a switch that was turned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like they just crossed the line. There was a line there. And Black Moon was on this side, and Mobb Deep was like, you know what? We just like y'all, but we just gonna step over here a little bit.
Right. See, then it became. So watch this. So what's the difference between? I'm just asking. What's the difference between Nas and Mobb Deep? Right.
Wow. I know the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
one of them is. Wow. It's almost the difference between Mobb Deep and Nori. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? Like, the difference between Nas and Mobb Deep is like the difference between Mobb Deep and Nori. Mobb, it's an art level. That's a little bit. It's an art level, and when you lose that little bit, that lack of art, just a little bit, you have to compensate with something. In my opinion. And what Mobb Deep compensated with was Queensbridge. You know what I mean? And everything that Queensbridge brought with it. They were Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? They weren't reporting from the streets. They were the people that Nas was reporting on.
Right, exactly. That's it.
That's the answer.
The thing about the Mobb Deep and the and any of Boot Camp Clique groups, from Helter Skelter to Smith and Wesson to Black Moon, is that I feel like they lean a little bit more to, nah, we not just reporting about the streets, nigga. We are the streets.
Yeah.
Nigga, we locked.
Windows painted in black with crack selling tensions.
What? I used to drive an act with a Mac in the engine.
Yeah. And got caught with the gun in the engine and did time. Same nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. It's funny. You semi just blew a hole in one of my theories, but I'm still gonna put it out there.
Please do.
But but that's the point. I think that's what separate them is like they're not just talking about it. They saying we the lobbyists, So certain people are like they're telling stories about it. They may have been in it a little bit, but they're still more like reporting on it. But then you have a group that no, we want to be seen as the toughest, the hardest. We were living it.
Yeah.
I'm not just reporting on it, nigga. People reporting on me. I'm the one, getting it in. Right. Pretty much. And so this is the thing that I was going to looking at with the young Gunz, right? Okay. The young artists now compared to them. Because like look at it. Like there was beef back in the days. The only real beef that you can really talk about that ended up in anything fatal for the artists in the 90s is Big and Pop.
Yeah. The only beef that ended in fatal.
Keith Murray snuffed Prodigy. Yeah. Rest in peace to Prodigy, but the facts. He snuffed them, whatever. Because he said something in a skit on the Memphis album directed to him. But they didn't kill each other.
Right.
Like you could, even whatever artists we say, Common and Ice Cube win each other. Yeah. They didn't shoot up each other. Their crews didn't shoot up each other.
Yeah.
Right? Like all of these artists that was out in the 90s, even with the whole whether they was trying to be the embodiment of the whole street thug persona like Mobb Deep, or if they was a Nas and Jay and telling their perspective or what they witnessed, whatever the case was, none of them, there was minor disagreements and stuff like
there
that.
Was skirmishes.
Right. They wasn't killing each other.
Yeah, they wasn't killing each other.
So that's that's one of the interesting things is that, and I feel like, and to me, this is a personal opinion, and the reason why I feel like that is because they were more, I think they had better people around them than the people that's around the new artists now, in terms of sound mind and giving guidance.
I agree.
And I think they cared more about the art.
I think more,
I remember, like it's dope, talented artists out now, obviously, right? We can run a list down, but the average new artist, I don't think is that concerned about the art because the hip hop has become a bag.
That's right.
Or rap industry has become like you're trying to get a bag.
That's right. It's an opportunity.
That's everybody's talking, everybody mentality. It's an opportunity.
Right.
Like I don't really, man. I'm not about to spend 10 years writing mad rhymes trying to be the best at rhyming. Fuck that. I'm trying to get money.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the average mindset of the average new artist, I feel like. So I think that's the problem.
I think that's a lot of the problem. I think you hit on another one of the problems earlier is gas being thrown on shit by the internet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can't disrespect me in front of this many people. I can't let that happen. You can't disrespect me in front of this many people, yo. No. You know what I mean? And the things that we had happen back then, just like the Locks and Benzino and them, they got into it in Boston. Like when they ran into each other, it might, like I said, it might have been a skirmish. It was some stabbings. You see what I'm saying? Like G Unit stabbed up some niggas from Murder Inc. So it was skirmishes, and 50 did get shot behind some. I don't know if that was rap beef, but
yeah, but that was before.
That was prior. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But so we did have our violence, but like you said, niggas wasn't getting gunned down because of it. But like I don't think, honestly, I don't think these guys are getting gunned down because of the music either.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Not because of the music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's solely because of the music.
Yeah, I don't think so. I had a question. Was Nas the last reporter from the streets? Like after Jay-Z, Mobb Deep, and Big, did everybody become the manifestation of the gangster versus reporting? Did reporting the streets, being nice with it, become too hard a thing to do? And being and using that persona is a crutch that you can lean on. You ain't gotta be as nice if niggas believe you a gangster.
Right, because they ain't gonna tell you you're not nice.
You know what I mean? And there's a fantasy that comes with you being the gangster, so your words are a little more interesting because I believe in you.
Right. I think so. I think part of it. I think so. I think part of it is because how difficult it is to measure up to a Big, a Nas, a Jay, and trying to report like they do. Like this is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And try to embody the criminal elements of what they may have reported on, and I'm gonna be that, and then get you to buy into that. Because what happened is, well, really we kind of answered our own question because we have way more so-called thugs, gangster, whatever, right, rappers than you have street reporters.
Right.
Because somehow everybody became the biggest, dude from the street. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of what I was saying. It's like
more popular of the thing to be than a dope MC.
Right. Easily. Like they wasn't, wasn't nobody concerned with being dope. Not now. I mean, I ain't saying nobody being, because let's like you said, it's more about the bag than it is about being dope. And at that time, you didn't even get access to the bag unless you was dope. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of a little bit of the difference. You didn't even get access to that bag unless you was dope back then. You had to be Jadakiss, Chic, and Styles to get Puff attention.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now French Montana got Puff attention. Like, how the hell is that possible?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but that's just, I guess, a little history of how we got here. I mean, because we've done other episodes about, that really detail, how we got, like, because money plays a big part into it too. Once the bag came, I don't know. I won't say I don't know why people would go back to reporting, but once the bag came, it was easy to see why I wouldn't go back to being the reporter. Because the live nigga gonna get the most money.
Yeah.
But you also gonna bring the most problems. So, okay.
Right.
Alright. So just to explain to the people how we described this before. We went through what we would call the golden eras, were the beginning, the birth of hip hop, and that would be from 79 to 80, 89.
Yeah.
88, something around there. You know what I mean? Like the birth years. And then you got what they would call the golden era, which you say 89 to 90. I don't know what you would say, really. 94, 93, 94. And then there's a gangster era where shit got street. You see what I'm saying? And from like 94 to like 98, 9, shit got street, and shit got really polished after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit got really polished. And I was still street going. The polish, it got polished, but these was niggas saying they was gangsters with money. Like you said earlier, it went from the dude on the street to, how did you put that? Because you put it real smooth. It was like,
oh man. I don't even know verbatim.
Man, you put that real smooth too. It's like going, rapping about what you see versus rapping about how I got this money.
Yeah.
I think that's close to how you put it. Like, now you rapping about the story about how I got in this position, how I bossed up. I'm telling you all my tales about how I bossed up.
Right.
That's definitely where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely where we are now, because everybody that enters the game enters at some level of boss.
Right.
They already.
There's no really before you're a boss.
Right.
We don't get a pre-boss artist.
You don't get a pre-boss artist nowadays. He don't exist.
No, they're in the video with the jewels, with the money, saying, and pretty much acting like they've always been a boss.
Right.
That's kind of the new that is the new persona.
That's the new persona. That's what it is.
And I'm still on top of that, so don't try.
Right. And in that, there's absolutely no pace. Young Gunz, pace yourself. There's no pace in that.
Yeah.
That's 100% go. Like, we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to tell the people we was running for we got here. We got some gangsters behind us with some money. So if somebody asks us about it, we got real stories to tell. And let's go get this money. And that's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do. And the ones that's actually... Okay, I heard Charlamagne say something the other day, and I'm going to give him credit for it too. And he was talking about this topic, kinda, right? But basically, what they were saying is, you know, since all this happened, Casanova got locked up, G Herbo got locked up, Mo 3 got killed, Vaughn got killed. I mean, there's tons of stuff that's happened here recently.
Benny got shot.
Boost
got shot.
Right. Like, come on. Tons of stuff that's happened since October or November. Right?
Yeah.
So, one of the things that happened being Cass getting locked up, they were saying that it happened because of what he said on Vlad. You know, and people were coming at Vlad being like it's his fault. You know what I mean? He getting, you know what I'm saying? He asking people to snitch and all this good snitching themselves and all that good stuff. And the one thing Charlamagne was saying is like, it went from, and it's kind of akin to what you were saying, it went from a time where people got on because they was nice to people seeing that it's an opportunity to get money. Like gangsters saying that it's an opportunity to get money based on a persona. Like, these niggas is telling my story and they getting money. So why can't I get out here and tell my story and get money? But when you go tell your story and it's real, and you try to get money with it, and you tell the world your real story, the real feds is gonna come lock your real ass up and put you in a real jail. And that's what they don't understand.
Right. Now, remember what you was going to say after all of that, because I want to highlight one person, one artist that people don't even think about when we talking about people saying things in their raps or living this real life, and then getting locked up, getting caught up behind some of this stuff, or saying too much on the internet. And that is, and who I felt like was going to be one of the best out, Rod Diggs. Rod Diggs, he literally said, he in one of his songs, and you can pull it up, it's crazy, it's like one long verse, right? But in the song he said, I think I brought this up before on podcast, but he said my uncle gave me the hammers that constituted to the death toll, and that, but he said something about downtown Brooklyn, but I'ma stop with all that. Not he said too much information to make myself my own rap. Right? He said that. Now this is at a time where he's like, he got the videos with Uncle Murder and what's my man Waka Flocka. They was they was a group, and he was like, I think he was in negotiation with a few deals, but literally what he said, they did. And he talked about, he said I ain't gonna let these crackers give me 150 years, right? Yeah. Do you know he's in life sentence? He has 150 plus years now. Yeah. They came and got him, and they highlighted clips from various songs, and that was one of the songs, and pieced stuff together to basically put him at, at certain places and certain dates for certain crimes that happened.
Same thing happened to GS9.
The first one.
Same thing happened to GS9 and Bobby Shmurda.
Right.
Same exact thing happened. Like, he named the people like everybody he named in them songs got locked up for the same murder. You know what I mean? Like, so, but all that to say, like. You can't blame Vlad. You can't blame No Jumper, Adam 22. You can't blame Charlamagne. You can't blame academics. You know what I mean? Because if you ask me a question and I don't want you to know the answer, you will not know the answer.
Right. Absolutely. Now this is the thing, but I agree. Absolutely. But I will but I'm not going to let them off the hook. Specifically, Adam No Jumper and Vlad, mainly Vlad.
Okay.
Because he's a real sucker. But
he's definitely a sucker.
Yeah, definitely a sucker. But because of the way, I don't like how he titled. We talked about this. The Casanova video, it says, like, I think I sent that to you after you sent me something, but he titled it Casanova talks about how he became the biggest gangster in Flatbush, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
No interview.
Yeah, did he ever claim that?
Said I was the biggest gangster in Flatbush. He ain't never say nothing like that in that interview or so, like, why title it that?
Right.
Like, I mean, I could figure.
Well, I mean, it's 100% for clicks.
Yeah.
It's 100% for clicks. Speaking to that, I mean, this is completely off topic, but if you go, matter of fact, it's not off topic. Next time you go on YouTube, look up Fat Joe's podcast on YouTube, The Jopra Show, right?
Yeah.
Every single title on it is Fat Joe and so go at it about.
Go at it. Yeah.
So they beef up, about beef. You see the words "go at it." You see beef. And if you watch the thing, they don't talk. They did it. They titled the one about Jay-Z like Fat Joe and Jim Jones go at it about beef with Jay-Z. When you watch the video, they both basically bigging up Jay-Z the entire time. Right. So this is what they doing. You know what I mean? So if the media outlets are doing it, and the fans under the comments don't care, and they throwing gas on it, your label ain't gonna help you get out of the situation by giving you good advice. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the only person you can depend on is you. So you have to know that you want to survive and that you don't want to get shot and that you don't want to shoot nobody. It's got to be you. When that goes back to the responsibility question that you asked me. If you ain't picked up the responsibility to yourself that you want to live a full life, then you're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Yeah.
In this game right here, if you playing this game and you ain't doing everything in your power to make sure that you have a full life, then there's a chance that you're gonna get yourself killed in this hip hop game that we in today.
Yeah.
And the personas got a lot to do with it, but hell, obviously, I ain't gonna say obviously, but it can't be all persona, bro. At this point.
Oh no. Yeah.
These dudes, some of these dudes is criminals.
Yeah, but this is the part of the thing when you become. This is what I'm saying. They have to understand and learn when you go from whatever environment you were in to being a successful artist. And now you have a house, wherever you have a house and you're touring, you're doing whatever. Like, I mean, unless you have a death wish now. But if you want to live and be successful in music, because they're all, say you love music, then you are focused on music and not so much the streets. And at that point, this is where we get caught up. Is pride and ego. You think you have something to prove, and you think you're keeping it 100. You think no, what you're doing is keeping it ignorant, and you make yourself look crazy. Yeah. In the end. Yeah. It needs to be cool to be. It needs to become. It should become cool to graduate from where you were to another level.
Yeah, it should.
Like, and when you study, it's two things, and I say this, you know what I mean, because I like mob movies, right? So it's two things that artists should adopt, especially artists entering the game that may really been, like you say, really in the streets, right? And really in real stuff, right? Like Diggs really was, Cass really was, you know what I mean? But it's two things. One of the things is the Mafia have called Omerta.
Omerta. I knew that was going to be the first thing you said.
You don't say nothing.
About nothing.
About nothing. Yeah. Especially nothing that could get your own self indicted or incriminate your own self. That's one. And two is when you become a boss, and remember we talked about this, everybody a boss, you a boss. bosses don't get their hands dirty.
Facts.
You send hits, you don't make no more hits.
Right. Right.
There was a time when Gotti was making hits.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah.
When he was a captain. When he became the boss, like
he ain't touch a gun again.
He had people. You send it
That's
out
right.
like the real bosses don't even move. Like someone be getting something could be happening allegedly to somebody, to your quote unquote, using their terminology, your op. You don't even know nothing about it. You on another continent.
That's right.
That's real boss. You
That's
don't
real
even know
boss
nothing about it. Nothing should be able to be tied back to you, especially when these people you getting money.
Right. Right. You getting money outside the criminal system too.
I know this may not be a good example, but why do you think when Kanye went on that rant, he said, "Ho, don't send your killers at me."
Because he knew he was talking to a boss. He knew, like, yo, I will have to deal with this before I see this man again. Let me tell him that I would rather deal with you. Please don't send nobody that I got to deal with. You know what I mean? That's just real shit. But you're right, bro.
And so this leads to the fact that I wanted to talk about this. And this is the thing. Even if you're going to be street, then be intelligent, move intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason. There's no reason. I don't know exactly why, but Von knew. Like, okay, Von found out they was outside.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have even been out there. It was no reason for him to go out there. Do you hear me? And the people around him should have been like, man, nah, we hold it down. First of all, we don't even got to let the niggas in. That's number one.
Right.
They just stay out there.
Right.
When we done, we go get in our cars, our motorcade, we out.
Right.
But even if something was going to happen, they should be out there. But the bag, you always make sure they good.
I'm going to tell you what the problem
was. He shouldn't have been out there. There's no reason why he out there throwing hands.
Because the bag ain't had sense. The bag is the reason they was there. In my understanding, this is why. Yes, they may be in a boss's position, but they don't have a boss mentality yet.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And my understanding is, and this is one of them situations where he's definitely got to know to remove himself from street sensibilities, right? They was going somewhere else. He changed the route himself, without most people in the caravan knowing where they were going. You see what I'm saying? So when they popped up at that hookah lounge or that club, they never even went inside. You see what I'm saying? So they was corralling outside. He knew that boy was there.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to be there. He just didn't know exactly where at. So when he hopped out the car, he bumped into him on some nigga shit and did what a nigga would do. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's real talk. Yeah.
And that goes back to what I was saying before. If you carry that same mentality, if you remove yourself proximity wise from the violence, from that situation, and you carry that mentality with you, then 9 times out of 10, when you show that aggression, you showing it to a nigga that's from that same environment.
Yeah.
So you putting yourself right back in the cycle. And that's exactly what he did. He allowed his mentality, and I don't think he should have been killed. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want nobody to think like Von deserved it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that his actions caused it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. His action caused that death that night. Because if he don't punch that boy, don't nobody get shot. Sad to say, if he sends somebody else to punch that boy, somebody else gets shot.
Yeah, but not him.
Not him. And the bag continues for everybody.
And that's my point.
I know.
So if you're going to engage people on site and all that, you know what I mean? Then watch this. Okay. When Jay and Nas was beefing, right?
Right.
And it never got to that level. But do you think, like, when they crews came, did you ever think you was going to see Jay and Nas box?
Never.
Really in the street?
Never.
No, if anything, their crews would clash. They're not. Yo, this is what I'm saying. It's crazy. If you come at certain people, like it's to a certain point, really, when you elevate, beef is beneath you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beneath you.
Absolutely. It better be. Like if beef
And it
ain't
should
beneath
be,
you,
especially if you're successful.
right? Like how am I beef? Okay, if I shoot you, I'm brainless. If you shoot me, no, I don't even know how you, but you know.
Yeah.
How that
If
shit
I
go?
shoot you, I'm brainless.
If you shoot
me, you're
me,
famous.
yeah.
What's a nigga to do?
What's a nigga to do? So you know, but niggas don't listen to enough Jay-Z. The gems are there. They just don't. They don't pay attention to them. Oh man, I know it was something else I wanted to go over. Let me ask you this then. How much do you think the imbalance of crime and entertainment had to do with something like Benny getting shot in Houston?
No, see, this is the thing, right? All right. So a lot, but I think but maybe not. I won't say a lot, some, but it goes back to people not moving right. It goes back to almost the same thing I'm saying about King Von, right? Right. So my wife hadn't heard the song, right?
Yeah.
So I played it for her. We was in the car, and but on the headphones. She listened to it on the headphones, right? And then as soon as she soon as she took it off, I didn't say. I said, "What do you think?" And she said, "Well, I guess you can't take the hood out of Benny." He goes to Walmart.
He goes to Walmart.
He goes to Walmart, but she said, "I guess you can't take the hood out of Benny." He still goes to Walmart in the Rolls Royce truck.
Yep.
His chains on.
With his chains on.
Yeah. I thought that was like the funniest thing.
It's the truth. Yeah.
Like, but bro,
she ain't street at all, but she know better.
Right. Why are you first of all, listen, there's no reason. I don't care what he needed. He should not have stopped at Walmart.
Somebody else should have went in that Walmart.
In a Rolls Royce. And this is the whole thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm gonna just say it.
Yeah.
Certain you rappers, and I'm not talking specifically about Benny, but this is just an example that leads to a greater point. Some of you, a lot of these rappers that they think they're keeping it real and they like, you know what I mean, with their whole team and all of that. Some of the team, they don't care about your well-being.
Facts.
At all.
Facts.
And you got a bunch of ignorant niggas around you that if you don't switch up your circle, you're going to be dead.
Big facts.
Bro, do you understand? Like, even if, like, just say, and I'm gonna keep using Jay because he's like the biggest kind of figure, right? Do you think if Jay was coming, right? Or when he did, I don't even know what his last performance was, but his last performance,
right?
Say he's in your city. Let's say he's in your city performing, and then on the way to somewhere he wanted to stop and get something out of the store. First of all, there's going to be a motorcade. There's going to be a car, and there's going to be a car behind him, cars in front. And do you think Hov is getting out the fucking car to go do anything? You ain't even going to get a chance to see him.
Nope.
That's how it should be. The people and the team around him, number one, you always make sure the principal person is secure.
Right.
Benny shouldn't have to move at all.
Right.
Even if they did pull up in the truck and all of this. Like, and just in general, our people got to be more security minded when they moving.
Our people don't want to be security minded, bro. Our people want to be hood. Our people want to be. They want to be. Absolutely. Our people want to be of the people, but you can't be. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't be. What you got to do is.
But see, that's my point. You made a walk up from literally the hood to stardom. So you already prove you of the people. Like Benny said Benny said on one of his songs, he said I did my time in population and stood amongst the brothers. You already been of the people in multiple scenarios.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
You don't have that's what I'm saying. Even our best rappers, they still be thinking, even the ones that seem like they got their head on their shoulders, they still be singing like they have something to prove. You don't got to prove shit to nobody. You don't got to prove nothing to anybody.
I think that's the hardest thing for our people to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we always been putting on. It's either putting on for the Joneses. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It goes from We've been putting on since we was little, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we like to be fly. We like to, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's part of it. You know what I mean? Like, but you got to understand that putting on don't get you nothing but killed.
Yeah. In the way that we like to put on.
In the way that we like to put on, get you killed.
Right.
Because it for one, it breeds envy. And we come from a place where most people don't have. So when you get to a point and you have and you start putting on, you surrounded by a lot of have-nots. You understand what I'm saying? Like, once you leave yourself among the people, your people are have-nots. You just have to understand that. Like, putting on got to look different.
Yeah.
It's got to be secured if you're going to do it. And it needs to not happen. Like, you know what I mean? Not this way. A Rolls Royce with 100,000 jewelry on at Walmart is insane.
Especially if you understand what Walmart is.
Yo, I wouldn't put on $100,000 worth of jewelry and go to Walmart and garner.
Right. And because you know why? Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to get shot too. That's exactly what I'm going to tell you. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You think I get blamed in garner, fam?
You're going to get blamed for sure. They're going to let it off.
Yeah, you're
Somebody going to see you.
Right.
Everywhere, there's an element of us.
That's a fact.
That is hungry and watching.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And if you don't know that by now, then what the hell is you rapping about?
Right. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because before that, remember, Conway had got robbed.
Yeah. In Atlanta.
You know what I mean? And that was, I think, Atlanta. Yeah.
So it's happening out here. So you got to know that. I mean, I feel like, that story being told, if you're going to tell that gangster story, then you have to move accordingly. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know how to fix this.
The only way to fix it really is just people to become more to grasp what it implies today to be a rapper or to actually be a star. Because to be successful, let me go back. It's a hip hop show. Go back to Jay-Z freestyle when they brought all the young guns up there to Hot 97.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right? When he said see G to see Judas, see Caesar, see Brutus.
Yeah.
He said, you know what I mean? He said, success, to be successful is like being a curse. He said, to be being successful, prepare to be crucified.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh, fuck.
it's not like or Hollywood because you're moving different than when you kind of was. I don't want to say nobody, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Was just the regular rapper trying to get on, but now you at brunches with Hov and you on Hov playlist and you can talk to him. Got his number. That's different, son. And like, it's not I'm acting funny or I'm like not keeping it real. No, what it is I'm valuing myself, and I know that everybody doesn't love me and is not happy that I am successful. Right. And I understand that a large part of my people whom my music is made for, I understand what they're struggling with, the have-nots that look at certain artists that they get caught slipping as a come up for them.
Right. Why would I go?
All that stuff be taken into consideration.
Right. Why would I go shine this in your face if I understand if we have haves and have-nots? Why would I come to where the have-nots are and brandish all this wealth in your face and expect you to love me? You know what I mean? Like you're gonna envy me. Some of you may love me. Some of you may love me, but some of y'all are hungry, and there ain't gonna be no love in that. Yeah, that's true. I had a point that I was gonna bring up too, and I can't remember what it was. I had it too, right when it was God, I wanted to. Oh yes. This is a little conspiracy theorist, but I want to throw it out there just cause. You know what I mean? Just cause I want people to understand what these youngsters are having to deal with, especially these young artists, and I want them to be aware as these cities start to grow in popularity and these labels start to find these artists all over the place, cause it's gonna happen. Like Dallas is popping right now, Houston is popping, Memphis been popping for a long time, Charlotte is starting to pop, Raleigh is starting to pop. You know what I mean? San Francisco is popping, the Bay. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's happening, and of course Chicago. So when these labels get here, right, and they find they find the first one, and he starts to rise, and these are street dudes, right, and he starts to rise, becomes a millionaire. They find the next one and get this guy $500,000. What you think gonna happen? We got a millionaire with one click and a click with 500,000 over here.
Oh, it's gonna be a clash.
It's gonna be a problem. Do you hear me? And when that problem happens, there's gonna be records made about it.
Yeah, definitely gonna be records.
Definitely gonna be records made about it. You know what I mean? You know who owns those records?
It's made. Records even made. There's gonna be posts about it.
It's gonna be posts about it. It's gonna be that's the problem. The labels own the records. The artists own
and all that.
There you go. The labels own the records, and the artists own the posts, and the violence that come with it. You know what I mean? So you take somebody like Von and Mo3, right? I hadn't heard much of Mo3 music before he died.
Me either.
When he died though, I went and listened to his music. Nigga was fire. Nigga
super
was
talented.
Fire. I mean, he was fire. He was definitely gonna be one of my favorite artists. Matter of fact, I was as impressed by him as I was Maxo when I first found Maxo.
Yeah. That's a very good comparison. I like that.
Maybe even more. Because I think he's more talented than Maxo. He's got more variables. He had more things than Maxo had to offer.
He does.
You know what I mean? So that dude was nasty. Picked great beats, great verses, rhymes was ill. He rapped, had cadence, and sang. Like, he had it all, bro. He had it all. He had it all. Von, I hadn't listened to much of his music before he died. Found out he was fire. Not in the same way, but he was fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think these records ain't being listened to right now?
Absolutely.
Now you know who getting
way
that bread?
More than before.
Exactly. You know who getting that bread?
The labels.
Labels. So if I give you $1 million and give your enemy 500,000, what do I think is gonna happen? As a label, I'm gonna get paid.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn who died. I'm gonna get paid though. And at the rate that these dudes make music, bro, they're gonna have 5 to 10 albums a year. So it ain't like they losing catalog on them. It ain't like back in the day when you make an album every 2 years. So if you have an artist signed for two years, you get one album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you get an artist he signed for 3 years. You probably got 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 albums from this guy.
Yeah.
They calling them projects, mixtapes. This shit is albums, bro. And then he died.
Yeah.
His back catalog long as shit. The label eating. You know what I mean? Don't get tricked into your own casket, bro. That's all I'm saying. Don't get tricked into your own casket. They say don't get tricked off the street. Don't get tricked into a casket either. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we did a lot of talking about people getting killed on this one in the violence, but I think that's more important than niggas doing scams and all this getting locked up. But you got to be smart out here, bro. You can't be telling on yourself. And you can't be out here just committing murders. You can't be putting yourself in a position where niggas can commit murder on you.
Or connect you back to anything.
Any of that. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and I feel like the labels look at the artists that they're worth more to them. That you know what. That they're worth more to them dead than alive.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, I really do think that, but it really just hit me why. You know what I mean? Because we know they'll get paid from their music and this, that, the other, but this is a business, in business generally is based on contracts, contractual agreements.
Ooh, yeah.
Dead men can't
Yeah.
negotiate.
That's right. That's right.
That's why.
Yeah. Whatever
Salute,
that.
fight me on whatever is
Yeah.
outlined in the contract.
Yeah. Whatever that initial contract says is what it says. And you can't renegotiate if you did.
Exactly.
And I got mad product from you that ain't even put out yet.
Exactly. Right. So to me, so to the label, I can although you're dead, I can stretch your catalog and release music periodically like if you were alive.
Yeah. Pop Smoke posthumous album did better than the album he put out while he was alive.
I believe that.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, his posthumous album did far better. Like it's still on the
Them,
charts.
some of them songs I heard literally everywhere. I heard grandmothers playing some of them songs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane. Like and all right, whose album just came out? Cuddy's album just came out. Cuddy got a Pop Smoke song. The album came out before that. It was when and people were excited to hear so and so and Pop Smoke. I mean, he's been on like the last 4 or 5 major releases. Just like Nipsey was on Big Sean. Nipsey was on like 4 or 5 major releases after his death. You know what I mean? This ain't right. Cause people still getting paid from that. The label's still getting paid from that. That's just a deeper, darker criminal link. You know what I mean? I think maybe this conversation, even if that's a total conspiracy theory and there ain't no truth to it, that the labels are purposely benefiting off of this, right? That's enough for me if I was a new artist to handle myself a little differently just because they may be trying to get me.
Right, exactly. And one could, and see, this is crazy. When you contrast that, see, wow. This is maybe why we didn't see as many deaths when they were beefing in the 90s, because you're not going to get another Jay-Z or another Nas to come along. So they were more concerned. See, now I know there's another 100 people trying to, using the same cadence, using, you know what I mean?
I can microwave these to the top.
Doing trap. Right. So even if they eliminate each other, and I have more pawns.
Yeah.
This is if we feeding the conspiracy theory, right?
That's right. That's right. If we feeding the conspiracy theory, what you just said is spot on, bro.
Yeah, because you ain't getting no Biggie, so you want to protect him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
even
they didn't even protect him.
Right. Yeah. Didn't even protect him. But so, yeah. But now that I know, like, it has become, these music has become microwavable now. Then I got a million views. So, man, really, the artists, honestly, I don't think they are valued at all by labels. Now, let me ask you this: No Fridays for Me have a service, a community service in which, or a community program where young people can come and learn social media etiquette, music production, all of this stuff, right?
Right.
At a center here in Raleigh. If a fight happens in there and someone gets stabbed and ends up dying, right? You, me, or someone, we have to come out and make a public.
Yeah, they gonna hold us accountable for that shit. Yeah, they gonna hold us accountable for that shit.
Hell yeah. So,
yeah.
Do you notice ain't nobody from no record label, none of the major record labels of the artists that we know that they're connected to, or that's their parent label? No one came out from the label and said, we feel this way about Pop Smoke. Yeah. We feel this way about Bond. That tells me all I need to know.
Yep. And even less happens when you go to jail.
Oh, what?
Even less happens when you go to jail. Like, they not messing with you. Like, Bobby Shmurda is going to get out next year because he thought they was going to bail him out. No, sir. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. It's not going to happen, fam.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because you brought me to a topic that I wanted to get to. I wasn't sure if we was gonna be able to fit it in on this episode.
Okay.
Pause. But Max B is about to be released.
Yeah.
And now, see, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because now I saw he was asked, Max B, or will you work with Max B? And he was like, F Max B.
All right, do me a favor. Do me a favor.
That's how I feel about him.
We lost the connection. Start that over with the who's you talking about. Max B and who?
Max B and Jim Jones. Max B is about to get out.
Right.
Right. And in the midst of all this death between artists and beefing and, people saying something need to change, this, that, and the other, when Jim Jones was asked recently in his interview, what do you think about Max B or whatever? Max B is about to get out, and he said, F Max B. And he said, niggas, no, don't ask me about him in no interview, and that's not going to change, blah, 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 right? So, so I guess my thing is like, what is your feelings about that? Because I feel like Jim is from an era that they know better. They know the games. He's been around. He's seen a lot. So, do you think that's a good example that he's setting?
Horrible. Okay, I'm gonna look at it two ways. One, it's a horrible fucking example, like terrible. Like this is a terrible example of how to handle shit, akin to the way Gucci handled shit during that verses.
Right.
This is very similar to the way Gucci handled shit during that verses. Like this is not how you want to handle things in this day and age. Like you want to be a better man than that, right? On the other hand, this could be a hell of a layup for Max B. Because if we stir the pot a little bit right before you come home, then when you come home and we actually do make up, it's going to be a big deal. So I got to hell know you till you get here so we can make a splash.
And that might be what's going on.
Yeah, and the only reason I think that is because him and French just got back together.
Right. And if you could piece it with French.
Right. Then what's the problem with Max B?
Right.
So I'm thinking if it's not a play for attention later, then this is the wrong way to handle it. He should be a bigger man than this. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I think it might be an alley-oop to get a ball rolling when Max B touched down.
Okay, that makes sense because one, people still love Max.
Yeah, Max B. Yeah, he that guy. He that guy. Now, since we talking about crime and come on, thing.
But I also think that you may be. I think you're right about that. That it may be a play because of what I sent you today. The joint with Cam, Jules, Joel's Jim. Because like when Joel's first got released, everybody's saying welcome home and they're on his page, stuff like that. And I remember my man Jason was like, yo, you notice Cam ain't said nothing, did you? Like we thought it was still a problem. He won't say nothing for mad long. He ain't said nothing. Then I think like a month ago or something, he finally made a comment on his page, but then as you see today, the joint that they put out.
Exactly.
So it could be a play.
A play.
I'm hoping it is.
I'm hoping it's a play. If it's a play, it's a dangerous one though. I said I hope it's a play. But even if it's a play, it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
It's dangerous because everybody don't know. So Max sitting in jail and this niggas in jail that don't know that it ain't still F Max. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
he been fine this long, so it'll be fine. It ain't gonna be no problem because of Dipset beef. But I'm just saying examples of what could be the problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you just don't want.
I'll say this. Yeah. And I'll say this. If it isn't a play, it's a horrible example for Jim to set, but it's also kind of corny. And I'm gonna say, we don't really talk bad about any artist on our show. And we won't start today, but But I'll say it's bad because the man's coming out of prison. Do you think he's just gonna want to pick up a gun and beef? You know he ain't going.
Right.
You know what I mean? He ain't gonna be trying to get in no trouble.
So you already got the upper hand. It's like kicking a man while he down. While
Yeah.
kicking him while you know he can't kick back.
Yeah. Like,
Even if you believed he would kick back, you know he can't kick back right now. So you like, why you kicking him now? That's not cool.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I hope it's a play, because if not, I don't respect that.
Nah, I don't respect it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really respect it if it's a play. Cause niggas need to not be playing like that right now. This ain't the time.
Right, and that's what I was about to say. The irony of black people being killed in general in this country.
Right.
And then see, this is what I'm talking about. This is where the hypocrisy comes in. Of how we scream about being killed by people from outside of our community, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a justified fight, of course. But our voice should be raised even louder when we seeing the violence happen within, between each other.
That's true.
That are of the same kind. Like, so it's just crazy. Like, you would think there would have been a conference right by now.
Right. Now,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. And
or something.
And
by
what
OGs, by respectable people in hip hop to sit down and give guidance.
Be like, yo, we got to bring this to a halt. Right. We got to stop this. Right. I agree. And we ain't seen that at all. We ain't seen, and what I have seen, especially in something like the Vaughn situation, I saw people arguing about whether Quando Rondo was in the right.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, what? That's crazy. So that's
dangerous, man.
Is really dangerous, because what it leads to is the rappers entering the game. Okay, we've been around hip hop long enough to know that this isn't hip hop.
Yeah.
This is a byproduct of something that was placed inside hip hop. This isn't hip hop. Do you understand what I'm saying? We understand that. But if you're 10 years old, you do not understand that this ain't hip hop. All of this is of the genre.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You can't separate the violence and the criminality from the music and the killings and the going to jail and the executives and all of that's the same. Just like Instagram and TikTok, all of it's the same thing, bro. You see what I'm saying? So the expectation of artists going forward is going to be even lower for themselves. You know what I mean? That's scary. That's what scares me. Because what we know to be hip hop is what we learn to be hip hop. What they know to be hip hop, bro, is what they learn to be hip hop. And then nothing that I'm seeing is giving them any education. This scary for real, thinking about it from that aspect.
Yeah.
Scary for real.
Do you think this is normal? Do you mean this is normal hip hop activity?
Whoa.
Wow. The limits, right? Yo, you know. See, this is a problem. We're not a religious show either, but I just don't know another saying that fits better. But in the Quran, where it says "exceed not the limits," right, bro? When you go, like, even when Nas and Jay was beefing, Bleak and Dame, they told him, like, when he started mentioning his baby mom and skitted, like all that stuff, they was like, that's too much. He like went too far,
and he went on the radio and apologized.
Right, exactly. But you see how real artists and have respect, and when you respect certain boundaries, there's certain bounds you don't cross. It's certain limits that you don't exceed.
Right.
You know what I mean? and what is dangerous is because it's going to promote continuous beef and death and clashing. If a person, it used to be when a person died, it's over. You don't say nothing else. No more disrespect. Not now.
Now they smoking on dead people.
You making diss songs now about the dead, bro. A Jew, I was told a long time ago, is never tap dance on another man's grave.
Big facts.
Something you don't do. But that's what I'm saying. See, this is what's dangerous because I'm seeing it like there's just no limit. There's no limit. Like they just doing what, like anything goes. In an anything goes situation, that means it's fucking chaos. So there's going to be casualties.
Yep.
There's going to be more death.
Yep. So we can bank on that based on what we just saying right now. It's going to be. Matter of fact, the generation after this is going to be worse than this.
Yeah.
Because they learning that this is a part of how you keep score.
Right. And damn, and it's so funny because, well, the good thing is we able to tie hip hop into so many different subjects. Yeah. But I can't help this stuff come to my mind. But like the way things is going, right? Mm-hmm. This is simple physics. Object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted on by outside force. If ain't no intervening by the homies, by the OGs to change the course of the way this shit is going, it keeps going in the same direction.
That's right.
We're going to see this cycle over and over, and everyone's going to just keep saying, damn, it's crazy. This shit, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying, because there are people that speak out. I feel like Gilly and Wallow do a good job on their podcast, which was King Bond last interview was up there.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I feel like there are people speaking out and helping, and some people trying to give, as they call it, game to the young people, but it's not enough.
No, it's not enough.
That have platforms. We have a lot of big artists that some of the young ones look up to, that they can reach out to them and easily help them. Mm-hmm. This is partly why I didn't necessarily like the conversation between Meek and academics.
You mean the conversation on Clubhouse?
On Clubhouse between Meek and academics.
Okay.
Because I'm putting it on Meek, right? Okay. Because I feel like Meek has got better guidance and better counsel from Jay, mainly, and others that he's been working with, even in doing like the criminal reform stuff, the prison reform stuff that he's been doing. Like certain, like when he told him, like if we, and I understood what he was saying. Yeah. Like he said, if you see the way you talking now, like if we was in the same, if we was in the same, me like you can say that. Right. You know, like he said one time, he said he'd smack him or something. But
I understood where he was coming from. I understood, but
absolutely, yeah, I understood. But it's like to be like, but he says that. But on the other level, on the other hand, remember he said, see, you keep thinking, he said, we ain't on the same level. And Meek is right.
Yeah.
He's way above at. Right. That's the point right there.
Yep.
All you other cats throwing shots at Jigga, you only get half a bar.
Fuck y'all niggas. Yeah.
You giving people that ain't been on your level way too much attention.
You adding oxygen to the fire. They got a little flame, and you ain't doing nothing but adding a little oxygen to it, making it hotter.
Yeah, it's a reason why the smart people, when the whole thing became popular, try to diss someone to get them to say your name so that you blow. Like the smart people don't do that. Jay ain't gonna say your name.
Nope.
It's the reason why. Like study the masters that are successful.
Right.
And guess what? Jay-Z he ain't got shot, he didn't get jumped.
That's a fact. See what I'm saying? That's a fact. Drake too. He one of them. You come at his neck, he's gonna diss you, but only you're gonna know it.
Right.
Cause you listen to the record, you know he talking to you, but nobody else does. Like he dissed Joe Budden 4 or 5 times, but never made a Joe Budden diss record. Joe Budden made 5 to 7 records about this man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And same with Kanye.
Same with Ye.
People did not even know he was talking about Kanye till I pointed it out.
Yeah.
The distance between me and you is not a department store. It's not a closable gap.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Ye already what the hell? I'm the new.
I'm the Gap, right?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Like he knew right off the bat.
Checks over stripes.
Right. Right. Because it's Adidas.
Adidas, yeah.
Right. So it's like they have examples to follow, one, but man, it's just that I just don't know, because I can say and we can say even having a conference of certain people try to help out certain artists, it's about if they're willing to listen and adhere to sound advice.
Right.
That's the other thing. I can't really tell you that even if something is said that they're going to choose a different route. I don't know.
That's the hard part. That's the hard part. You can't tell. I mean, we do know that some are going to listen and some are not. Some are going to have the ability to adjust. And some have been through so much trauma that adjusting that fast is just not possible.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's just what it is. So, and one thing that we can't control is the fact that gangsters have realized that they can take their image and the money that they've garnered and put themselves in the industry.
Yeah.
We can't change that.
Right. And you know what's funny? Like, and I know we didn't name, just like Backpack, Conscious, Gangster, the people doing the actual rap, we never named it that.
Right.
The outside entities named it, called it that. But I'm saying that to say, because I want to ask a question. Like, when do you say gangster rap started about? Like, I would say, like, I don't know, like early 90s.
I would go like gangster rap to me is Just Ice, NWA. So yeah, late 80s,
right.
Early 90s.
Right. Okay. Here's the irony. Like, that was like a big boom of gangster, quote unquote, gangster rap.
Yeah.
But right now, this is the era where there's the most gangsters in rap.
Oh yeah, easy. Right now, rap is proliferated with gangsters. The industry and the arts.
Yeah.
Like, gangsters have taken over hip hop. Once gangsters realized that it was okay. At one point, gangsters thought it was lame to be into music.
Right.
Once gangsters realized that the music was telling their tales and it was money in it, they said, well, damn that. That's my money. It's my story. You see what I'm saying? So so they entered the music business.
Right.
And it's been, and that's all we getting now.
Yeah.
That's all we getting. All is relative, but
pretty much
90 to 95% of the music that we getting right now is from a gangster's perspective.
Right. Now, we don't have to stay on this too much, but I did want to talk about this because he's an artist. I wanted to talk about this artist because he's an artist that I really like, and I felt like he had his head on right from all his interviews and things like that. So I'm shocked at him getting caught up, but not too shocked, as you told me.
Yeah.
but the Cash situation.
Yeah.
Because people are kind of saying, I'll just put it like this: when Fat Joe was talking about the Cash case with Mano, if you listen to it, well, when they talking about him being arrested, when you listen to it, they pretty much said, he turned back to crime because like things are slow with touring and getting money and this, that, and other. That's kind of what they said. Like,
Same.
I was actually surprised that
same
they,
thing with G Herbo. Same thing with G Herbo. That's what's being implied about him too.
And I was kind of surprised that either one of them, kind of said that. But
that's what I'm talking about. That's part of what I'm talking about. These niggas don't understand the fucking internet. You see what I'm saying?
Because I'm saying that because I think whoever's prosecuting the case is going to try to use that and say this is the reason, because he had bought a mansion, he had bought a house and all this stuff, and whatever. But someone is good, like, because they got to make an argument. Why would this successful artist go back into past criminal acts or whatever the case is? And I think they're going to use that as part of their argument.
Even if they don't,
money was slow, the industry is slow right now. So he resorted back to that which he was most familiar with.
Even if they don't use those quotes from those two people specifically, they use that as investigative information. It's investigative fuel.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you understand where to look if it's obvious that the people around you can see what you was doing. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be hard for us to prove our case against you. Look, even they saying it. You know what I mean? So they need to keep their mouth shut. They don't. The feds don't need no more opinions on this matter. I guess is what I'm saying. They don't need any more opinions or any more validation. They don't need nothing else.
Nothing.
They got everything they should have everything they gonna get. But it don't seem like that's what's happening here. I don't. Digital responsibility, bro. That's one thing that needs to be taught.
Yeah.
It needs to be taught across the board. And when I came up with the term, I don't even know if it's original for me, but when it came to my mind, digital responsibility, I wasn't even thinking about YouTube interviews. You know what I mean? I wouldn't think about be careful what you say on YouTube. I was thinking about be careful what you leave on your Twitter, be careful what you leave on your Facebook timeline, be careful what you leave on, you know what I'm saying? Like what you post on your Instagram. I wasn't thinking that you had to be careful about.
Right.
I wasn't thinking that I would have to tell a person, make sure that when you go on YouTube, you don't self-incriminate, that you don't tell about the crime that you committed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you from the era we did stuff we didn't. That was the number one thing. Don't say nothing.
Don't tell
it.
nobody. Man, I'm gonna be
Definitely
honest with you.
not going to be on live with a gun.
Hell nah. Cass and Cass going to prison for a little while. Okay.
Oh man.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
It seems.
It is. He is, because even if they don't get him on none of the RICO or none of the fraud stuff, that shit he did while he was in prison and then got out and told that he did it. He going back for that shit. He going back for what he said on Vlad. Just that. He going back to jail just for that. Because he literally got up there and admitted to doing crimes and not getting caught while he was in jail. They coming to get you, brother. So.
But look. A lot. You know what, right?
Yeah.
Another sweep may be happening because a lot of them have done that. And I ain't even talking about just rappers, just like when on the other show, where all of them was talking about stuff was going on in prison.
Yeah. And
some of them are all connected to rappers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I won't be surprised.
It's coming, bro. It's coming. It's gonna be some more.
Oh, because one of the people, now let me tell you this, like one of the people that wasn't on Queen's Flip show when he had all of those bloods up there talking about all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the guys that they talked about a lot, he wasn't on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was supposed to be. But he did another interview, but real low key, he ain't even like been doing a lot of it. Well, anyway, the feds picked him up like a month ago, dead eye. If you heard any interviews with all these bloods talking about dead eye, everybody picked him up. And like, I think 8 other people.
AR Ab is another example of this. He talked himself right into a prison sentence.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Talked himself right into a prison sentence. So it's clout.
This is where the art comes in though. Cause I'm not saying don't tell your story, but tell it in a way that it doesn't self-incriminate. Like Jay is perfect at that.
Yeah. Yo.
Only us, we the only ones that know the secrets.
Yo, if I was a real criminal, right? And I was a rapper. First of all, okay, I'm from the era that I would want to be nice, so that changes everything. You know what I mean? It changes everything. It changes what I was even like, okay, because there's no way I would tell the stories in the ways that you would have to ask me, is this real?
Right.
You'd be like, there's no way in hell it's real. And I'd be like, yo, nah. I'm nice, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way you would know it was real. Couldn't. But I don't know, bro. But if you're going to talk about something that's at least understand the law. Be smart. Talk about something that's past the statute of limitations, at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. 560 State Street. That's got to be past the statute of limitation, because if it wasn't, his ass would be in prison.
Right, because that's way past. So like
you see,
30 years ago.
Yeah. So fine, but or just lie, dog.
What you doing anyway?
the one. God knows, I wish they were.
Yeah, because a lot more would be free if they were.
Right.
This is the dangerous. I mean, this is like the Chappelle skit. Keeping it real goes wrong.
That's
what we're looking at. Keeping it real goes wrong.
A huge case of that. In every situation, whether it be from violence or just getting locked up from your criminal activity, telling on yourself, every bit of that is when keeping it real goes wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it, man.
Crime and entertainment, clout chasing.
Yep.
And that goes for wearing $100,000 worth of jewelry in a Rolls Royce truck at Walmart. Keeping it real just went wrong. As soon as you pulled into that Walmart parking lot, keeping it real was in there waiting on your ass. Wrong as hell.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just
keeping it real out here like Lurk Daddy.
Like Lurk Daddy,
yeah, man. Keeping it real out here.
Yeah, keeping it real is Lurk Daddy.
Yeah, waiting to go wrong.
Waiting the Hulk
to go wrong.
Yeah, it's gonna go wrong. He gonna cause it to go wrong.
Yeah.
He gonna cause it to go wrong, or he gonna cause you to cause it to go wrong. Lurk Daddy.
Lurk Daddy, man.
Man. These people, man, I don't know, man. All I can do is pray for them, bro, and hope they listen to episodes like this and know that there's people that don't want them dying and going to prison. Like, we'd rather have your music, bro. Like,
definitely rather have the music.
Rather have your music, yo. Especially people like Von and Mo 3, yo. Like, God, man. I feel about that situation the way I do about people that hadn't heard Nipsey before he passed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I understand what they're going through right now, because I was up on Nipsey, but I wasn't up on Mo 3 and Von. You know what I mean? And I listened to a lot of Mo 3. Like, right after he passed, I was like, wait a minute. This song fire. It got to be a fluke. And then you just go through the catalog and like, yo, this is nuts.
Right.
This is nuts. I was even way more sad, you know, based on that. But I don't know, man. I know we done soapboxed and old-headed enough.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, this is really fogey talk. But it ain't fogey talk, man, because we love it. We ain't down to the music. We love the music.
Yeah, yeah.
But we just want them to survive so that we can continue to enjoy the music, bro. You know, and it don't seem like they want to participate.
God, it don't look like it.
It really don't.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see a change. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah. And I tell you one thing they doing, though. They definitely is like they just... I think it seemed like they just feel safer when they got the hammer on them. But you could die with the hammer on you, bro. Like, that's not safety. You know, I only mention that because the last few pictures I seen of Lil Baby, you know, you can clearly see the gun is in his hand in his hoodie. Like, he got his hand on his gun while he taking pictures with people. But that's just because of the situation we in. He feel like he got to do that. You know what I mean? He shouldn't have to feel that way.
Right. And you know, most people die with a gun on them.
That's true.
It's really rarely somebody is getting shot at and they actually have the time to back out and
return fire.
That usually doesn't happen.
Nah.
Because if a person got the drop on you, usually don't have time.
Yeah, usually got shot. That's what you got.
Yeah, you get up out of it.
Yep. But yeah, man. You think we tried to give enough advice, man, or at least get to the bottom of why it's happening, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we did a good job of covering it and at least shedding some light on different perspectives on what's going on and why,
Yeah.
and how it can be curtailed, you know.
Yeah.
But if they want it to be.
Right. And I guess and one last thing, man, is like if you out there and you dealing with younger artists and you got a situation where younger artists are around you, like don't ever hesitate or pass up the opportunity to try to at least give them some of this information that we talk about. Like, try to school them. Please don't let it be a situation where they could possibly say nobody ever tried to tell me shit.
Mm-hmm.
At least you know they heard it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, give yourself that. Get them that opportunity if you out there and you dealing with young artists, man. Because obviously they not picking it up. They not pulling it out the air. The shit that they pulling it out there is getting them killed. You know what I mean? And another thing I would ask that we do is try to explain to them what hip hop is and what hip hop isn't. Let's start to draw some distinctions because violence and crime, there are elements that are spoken about in hip hop by certain artists, but they are not hip hop.
Yes. Right.
See what I'm saying? And I don't think enough. I think we headed towards a place where there are sectors of people that just don't understand that.
I think we're there.
Yeah. So those are, I guess, my two major takeaways that I would want people to kind of, if you could do anything, maybe that's a good place to start. I don't know. That's where I'm gonna start. That's where I'm gonna start. I think that's a good place. Yeah, man. But you think we did enough, bro?
Yeah, I think we did.
All right. Well, shoot. If that's the case, man, I'm gonna ask y'all to subscribe, like this video, subscribe to the channel, like this video, go to Facebook and share it. As a matter of fact, go to Facebook and Instagram, like us at Conversate for a Few, follow us at Conversate for a Few. Matter of fact, if you're on Facebook, go to Conversate for a Few group. Just Google that, man, and just search it on Facebook. We have a new group. We have an extended conversation. That's really what it's called, extended podcast conversations. Check us out on Clubhouse too, man. We're gonna be on there furthering these conversations too. Stay tuned for the limited edition Futane Clan merch. It's coming. I don't know, man. I think that might be it. What you think?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well, shit. If that's the case, then I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This was not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely was not. This is a podcast about hip hop. Make room for the tag.
Conversate for a few.
Hustle, welcome, man, they had to send me. Hustle from Raleigh, live from NC with your hosts, John and Alan. Relate to the two. You are now listening to Conversate for a Few. Check it on SoundCloud, debate with your crew. They talking hip hop from the late to the new. From July till June end. No Fridays for me. Tune in. Please listen to this podcast. 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 Please listen to this podcast.